Let's jump into the weekly channeled angel message, see what the angels got for us this week. Just take a moment, connecting with the angels, see where they want to start. Okay, I'm seeing pizza and putting on pizza toppings. This idea that people choose different pizza toppings. So I'm curious to see why they're focusing on the toppings specifically. They keep showing show pepperoni and veggies and sausage. This idea that and then they're showing it all together, kind of like that was like premium, supreme, or whatever that kind of pizza is, where it's got like all of the things. It's got meat and veggies put together. See what they mean by like having these different types of toppings like siloed by themselves and then all of it together. Oh, okay. So it's about community. It's not where I thought they were going to go with this idea of like each person, if each person they choose their pizza toppings, and that's a great topping, like pepperoni, and another person is like sausage, another person is veggies, another person's mushroom and olives and all this stuff. Each person brings a uniqueness through their values and their interests and who they are, and they bring so many different things, and by themselves that could be great pizzas, very enjoyable, but when we bring it all together, it's like really great. We put all of those ingredients on one pizza, meaning like when we bring all of these individual people and their uniqueness and put them all together, it's a beautiful blend of so many things and so much richer. And but they're also bringing to mind that like sometimes we have these types of pizzas, like if you've ever had something like this where it's like, well, I don't like the olives, or someone's like, well, I don't like the mushrooms, or maybe like someone doesn't want pineapple on it, right? There might be different things that like not everyone's gonna like everything on the pizza when you bring all these ingredients together. Just like when we get a community and a group of people together, we're not gonna like every single person. And there might be some people that we don't want to associate with, and that's okay. But the idea is like if we were creating a community, like maybe a neighborhood or a group of friends or something like that, or support group, some type of group of people where we've chosen to come together. Not everyone's going to get along, not everyone's going to like each other, but it's important that we all still show up. So meaning like I get to have my individual boundaries of like, I'm not really going to engage with this person. Like, I'm not going to maybe get to know them on a more personal level. I'm going to be respectful because someone else in the group might really resonate with that person and really find that relationship valuable, and that's a good fit. And I want to respect that. So I'm not going to kick the person out of the group. I'm just going to take those ingredients off the entire pizza. If I'm sharing this pizza with other people, I'm not just going to take it off just because I don't like olives or I don't like whatever. I'm going to leave it on, but I might just take it off of my part of the pizza. Because for example, I don't really like olives, but my wife loves olives, and I wouldn't just say, well, we can't have olives anywhere on the pizza. I would say like, just maybe my portion that I'm gonna have, let's not put olives, but you can keep it because it's really valuable to you. So same thing in a community of people, that we don't want to kick someone out of a group or a setting just because we don't particularly get along with or see eye to eye with that person. If that person, as long as they're not doing harm to people, if they're being respectful and kind and all that, but we just don't kind of click, there might be someone else in the group that finds that person really valuable, and that's an important relationship. So it's really about group dynamics and that balance between how do I make space for all these different types of people, knowing that I'm not going to get along with and see eye to eye with everyone, and how do I protect myself and set boundaries so I can still participate in the group and the community in a way that feels good for me without taking away someone else's experience. The angels are bringing to mind something that happens in a concept that we talk about in group therapy. It often shows up more in the space when I'm doing DBT or dialectical behavior therapy. The sense of like when someone in the group is starting to engage in what we call like group destroying behavior, we would consider maybe that they're not a good fit for that group, and we need to ask them to leave versus group interfering behavior, which is like maybe we can kind of course correct and they can show up in a different way and the group dynamics will still be okay. But when one person starts to kind of, their behavior is so harmful that it's actually impacting everyone else's experience, learning, growth, that's when we need to maybe say, hey, we're going to have a hard boundary. This person is actually not going to be part of this group or this community anymore because it's so harmful. And that sometimes is important. And the angels are saying like this really comes into play in family dynamics, that sometimes there's one member of the family that it's like, oh, well, you know, so-and-so, like, you know, uncle, this person, or, you know, mom, like they just act like this. And I guess we just kind of all have to deal with it. Like everyone knows this person is difficult and harmful and engaging in behaviors that's not okay, but no one's setting boundaries. No one's saying like, hey, this is actually so harmful and everyone's impacted that like you need to change something. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to invite you to these gatherings or have you here because it's just so harmful. And that people just tolerate that. So sometimes when someone's behavior gets to that extreme, then we need to think about bigger boundaries to protect not just an individual, but also the group and the dynamics. But besides that type of situation happening, if someone's just like not your cup of tea, then we have to figure out how do we share space with that person and be respectful, and set the boundaries that we need without kicking them out of the family, the community, the group. So that was an interesting message and where they took that. So think about the groups that in the group spaces that you're in, and are there boundaries that you need to set respectfully with someone? And that could just be like you just don't get to know someone really personally, but you're fine sharing space. Or if there's someone that's being so harmful in a group dynamic that you need to consider like how as a group do you handle that? And if it's not going to be handled as a group, you know, we only have control of ourselves. Do we need to remove ourselves from that group because it's actually that person's being so harmful and other people are not participating in the boundaries that you want to set, that you actually need to remove yourself to some capacity and not go to those gatherings or be around that people. So think about the groups and the relationships that you have and what boundaries that you need to set for yourself.